more stuff talking about the ending of Mass Effect 3. I mean, what if it's not indoctrination? How would you take it then?
Not as well.
Yeah, I don't really see how it could. You know, I guess I could if they went into further explanation, which they are. It's nice. They announced the free DLC, and if
the extended cut for people that haven't.
Right, so they're not changing the ending, which
I've got basically the press blurb right here. Yeah, the ending is the most important thing to note. The ending has not changed, and there are no new endings offered. It's all still the same 3. Choose your flavor of explosion, and then based on that, you still get the same results, but there will be more scenes and things just sort of interspliced, supposedly, between there and the end. Let's see. There's more cinematics and epilogue. Doesn't say anything about gameplay at all. Doesn't say if there's going to be any more extra missions.
Right.
My hope mainly that gets explained is Joker running and all that. If there's one thing I want to explain, I want that. I want like a really good reason.
Right, because I mean, I assume he rescues your ground crew. So for him to have the time to break off from the fight, go down,
not even pick up your corpse.
Right, go down, pick up your crewmates while not getting shot down by Reapers. Turn around, run off, and remember that Relay is orbiting Pluto.
Yeah, you gotta get out there.
It would take him quite a while to get. I don't know how fast the Normandy goes. I know it goes faster than light. I don't know how much.
But that's once you hit the relay is when it does that.
Right. But the thing is, that beam that shoots out of the Citadel gets there pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Almost instantaneously, it seems like. So, I'm not sure how Joker pulls that off.
Like I said, I want that explained. Let's see. It's supposed to come out during the summer. And he said it's supposed to be free, and it's It's basically made for the fans that want more closure.
And of course, if you don't want it, you don't have to download it.
But it's free. It's kind of hard to price to beat.
Right, but I mean, if you're one of those people that says, I like the endings the way they were, fine, then don't download it. It's free and it doesn't interfere with your game, so you don't have to download it.
So, I was thinking of this over in my head with the epilogue. What do you think the worst case scenario is? How could this make you even more mad? Let's put it that way.
I think probably the worst thing they could do is just not deliver what they say they're going to, or just be really lazy about it.
How about scrolling text on an image?
It worries me because just again with the tally picture, and there's several other nitpicky things in this game that bothered me, but it seemed like for some areas they paid a lot of attention to detail, they did a lot of fan service. I love the gameplay, but it seemed like some other things they were a little lazy about. Mm-hmm. And the only way that this DLC could make me more upset is if there aren't more endings, like if it doesn't diverge based on your war assets like they said they were originally going to put in the game, and if they don't bring closure, they still leave you with questions, and I wouldn't even mind scrolling text. It's a little cheesy and lazy, but
I think it would break the flow if you did that.
But yeah, I really like them to show the consequences of your war assets. You know, what happens if I do go there and I totally screw over the Quarians? What happens if I go there and I lie to Rex, I sabotage the cure, and...
I'd love to see more scenes of, the war assets that you gain fighting,
Right.
Show, if you've got some imported N7 squad, show a little band of N7 mercenaries working together, show Krogan's fighting more, show Quarians, show...
Right, and maybe even show your friends fighting, like maybe show Jack ripping some people up. I don't know. It would have been nice to see the other, your old crewmates fighting for that last scene, and there's a guy on YouTube, he does a really good video talking about his ideas for how the game should have ended. His name is Argangia. You can look him up, but I don't know, he's got long hair.
I'll put a post on there.
He goes on to talk about how he thought the game should have ended, and I thought he's got some really great ideas. Some of them were a little cheesy.
Not sure about the party.
The party at the end, that was a little strange, but I did like his ideas for how he thought the final battle should have ensued. That instead of using it should have been like the suicide mission from the second game. Instead of commanding squad mates to do certain things,
entire armies,
armadas to take on the Reapers or to perform certain actions to help.
More control of sword.
Right. Some more control of how the final battle plays out. Other than you land, blow up this Hades cannon, launch these missiles, and head towards the beam.
Yeah. Need more cannons or something in the end.
Right.
So, obviously, best case scenario is everything makes sense and everybody's happier. It'd be great.
Yeah.
But you know, it's good that it's free. I can't believe that EA and BioWare are doing free DLC. Not only this, but a whole nother piece. Like,
well, the people that were upset with the ending are certainly in the minority. I mean, it's
wait, like the people that were upset? No. I guarantee.
No, well, on that Take Back Mass Effect page on Facebook, it's got about 60,000 members now. Certainly there are more people that are upset with the ending. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure there are more people upset and like annoyed or perturbed with it than there are that just accepted it.
Yeah. Well, certainly the news places didn't seem to be expressing that. Well, the IGN did a good video where Greg Miller and two other guys from IGN were talking about the ending, and they actually played it and showed you some stuff. But of course, there's that video with Colin Moriarty pretty much saying that all the gamers that didn't
deal with it, get over it.
Deal with it, get over it, stop being a bunch of entitlement and whiners. I disagree with him. I think, you bought the game. If you're paying for it,
you expect something.
It's a service. And I think that gamers do have a right to criticize companies. Now, I don't think they're right in attacking members. That's not cool.
I mean, video games are an interesting kind of media, and Mass Effect especially. Like ME2 and ME3, they talk about taking in a lot of fan input. They talk about, Garrus and Tally as romance options in 2 and on. Those are put in mainly because fans requested them. So there's been a little bit of fans obviously working with the game, tell them what they want, and they've been able to provide some of that input. And
it's hard to say for sure. I mean, I just think it's hard to say for sure how many people are upset with it as opposed to people that aren't. I mean, the game sold, 3.5 million copies?
3.5 million within its first.
So, I'm not sure, but I certainly do know that on the forums there is an overwhelming majority of people that are angry and upset. I think they did a poll one time and something like 98 or 97% of people were upset with the ending. And I'm certainly one of them. I did not like it. I was upset. But
I've definitely been keeping track of a lot of the stuff for people that are angry. I mean, obviously angry people like to put up some forums, and people that are satisfied don't really need to, go in and talk about why they're satisfied. But still, it's a pretty large, population of the BioWare fans that do not like the ending.
But from what I could gather, most of the people that are upset are people that have been playing since 1 and 2. Most of the people that aren't upset and they're saying, I don't know, I don't see what's so bad about the ending. What's wrong with it? It seems like most of those players are players that have only played Mass Effect 3, and they just, they picked it up and they were like, oh, this is like Gears of War.
I can definitely see you having a little less stake in the ending if you
haven't played the first 2 games.
And then what's interesting too is that obviously a lot of people talking about wanting a change to the ending. A lot of review outlets and things like that have been saying, no, don't change the ending. The game is a piece,
Game Informer especially.
Game Informer, IGN, just all over the place have just sort of been like, games are art, and you don't tell an artist to change their artistic vision of something.
Yeah, but I actually saw a post that I thought was very interesting. One of my friends posted to me on Facebook, and he said, since he's an English major, he wants to write a book. He didn't think it was great for a company or whoever to bury their meaning or their story just so deep beneath art, because if it's to the point where people can't understand it and they're playing it and they're just kind of interpreting it as they can see fit, then your story really isn't complete. It's sure, games are art, of course they're art, and you can do neat things with them, but if you're gonna tell a story, make it clear, make it something that people can understand, like BioShock. I think that's a perfect example of a game that can be artistically creative and yet still have an amazing story. I really loved BioShock.
I would say Portal or Portal 2 are more my...
Sure, those two.
A little bit more on the dark humor kind of side. But the other interesting thing about talking about games as art is that when you say art, you assume that you look back at other forms of art medium like film or, paintings, things like that. video games are a very different form of art in that they're very interactive, and to put limitations on saying don't change parts of video games, when you say don't change a movie, you have director's cuts in movies all the time, for example. Video games get updated with DLC content all the time. You know, who's to say that, you know, it's the wrong thing necessarily to change something about it? Like, Jimquisition, I normally don't like Jim's. Like, he's right so many times, but he has such a crass way of putting things I don't normally like agree with him. But he had a really good post about the ending of ME3, and that, you know, maybe it was worth it to look at maybe changing it. And the extended cut kind of thing feels sort of like maybe a happy medium. It doesn't change anything that, like, it doesn't decanonize anything that's in the game, but it does provide more resolution.
Yeah, and I know Capcom just recently announced the Ajura's Wrath ending DLC, and that some people were upset about that because Capcom's.
I mean, Capcom wasn't the first to do it though. Ubisoft with the Prince of Persia, like that was the worst case. You had to buy it, and
but it just seems like with Capcom's already fragile reputation that it just seems, especially with everything that's going on with Mass Effect 3's ending, that they would really try and pull something like that.
This is sure.
But a lot of people back to the.
But wait, before that, you have like I think before like one more example of where changing the ending actually works. Fallout 3. People hated it that you got cut off from doing all this open world stuff.
That did seem really weird because when I beat it, I had Fox with me who can survive ridiculous amounts of radiation. I was like, Fox, why don't you go in? And he's like, I cannot do this. It's not my destiny. Oh, thanks a lot. I'll just go in there and die.
Use all my rat away maybe if I'm lucky, but yeah,
I tried. It didn't work.
But I mean, and Broken Steel, it was better in every way. You got to at least explore the world more, and taking down more Enclave was great. So I think changing endings can work in video games.
Yeah, but a lot of people have brought up, again, changing the ending and comparing this game to other things. That's.
You're talking about the Star Wars comparison?
No, it's just people have said. Especially even Colin Moriarty brought this up in his video. He said, I didn't like the ending to Rosemary's Baby. I didn't like the ending to Sopranos. However,
now it just cuts to black.